The views and opinions in the following program do not reflect the views and opinions of the Grand Valley Television Station or the university. The Grand Ego is intended to be satirical and should not be taken literally.
Hello, Grand Valley. My name is Jared Grismer, and this is the Grand Ego. I'm glad you could take a break from binge drinking to tune in. It's that beautiful time of year known as fall. The sweaters are coming and the booty shorts are going away. Ah, what a shame. Lakers, let's take a moment to think about traditions we have here on campus. I'll give you a second to think about them all. All right, you probably had trouble thinking of anything, and here's why. Grand Valley hasn't been growing at a very fast rate. I can barely find a place to live anymore. Now I'm stuck between living with a creepy random dude in the dorms or living off campus with a internet connection. Yeah, I'd rather live with a creep, but that's a whole nother issue. What I'm trying to get at is that Grand Valley has a lot of culture to supply to its now 25,000 students. Most universities develop their identities with decades of students and faculty, and the process is very natural. Around here, when a tradition naturally comes up, like riding the quote-unquote wrecking ball, we get that taken away from us. Thanks, Smiley. Grand Valley's weird because we don't just let traditions naturally happen. Everything around here has just got an artificial taste to it, like it's a tradition too packaged to belong to a dinky school like ours. Case in point, Battle of the Valleys. Every year, it's the biggest non-event we have, and you've probably never heard of it. It's a football game disguised as a fundraiser, or a fundraiser disguised as a football game. I really don't know. And Grand Valley seems to be confused, too. For years, they've been promoting the game as a rivalry between our school and Saginaw Valley State University with videos that look like this. All I learned from that is that Cardinals shouldn't be walking around with boomboxes and that sailors get really aggressive road rage. Why they're driving on land and not in a lake is beyond me. But okay, I get it. Grand Valley is a college and every college has to have a rival, I guess. Then why Saginaw Valley? After a quick Google search, I couldn't really find much about them. They're pretty small, but that's okay. They take pride in being a small school, something that Grand Valley is trying to grow away from. As students, we should all ask ourselves, why should I care about a rivalry between our two schools? There isn't rich drama between us or anything. It all started as a friendly rivalry in 2003 when Grand Valley was like, hey, yo, Saginaw, you want to be rivals? You have a valley, I have a valley. How about it? I'd rather see us play against the ghost of Steve Jobs and his team at Silicon Valley. That would make about as much sense as our thing with Saginaw. I don't get it. It's no wonder the students here either don't know or don't care about Battle of the Valleys. According to a recent Lanthorn poll, 67% of students don't think that there's enough promotion for it, which explains why we've lost the fundraising drive for the past 6 years in a row. I mean, it is surprising when you consider the fact that our school is more than twice as large as Saginaw. We have 25,000 students to Saginaw's 10,000 students. Yet we consistently raise less money than them every year. The worst happening in 2012 when we only raised $1,000 to their $30,000. holy crap, that could buy me a new car. Since then, control of the event has been handed over to the Laker Traditions team. And that should be the big telling point right there. Think about it for a second. There's an organization whose job it is to create and enforce traditions on campus. Traditions aren't just created. They evolve after several years of practice. It's the difference between me walking around in my underwear on campus and the school hosting a clothing drive by holding an undie run. It just doesn't work. People need to care about what they get involved in. I have a tough love for Grand Valley, and I'm not afraid to tell it when it's being stupid. I don't think I'm asking for a lot. I just want a real college that does cool things and doesn't try to make its own narrative. Stick to what you're good at, like Laker Bowls and rowing. I'd be okay with a crazy tradition like a drag show featuring President T. Haas, but baby steps, Grand Valley. We'll be a cool school one day. We'll be right back. These past couple months, there have been some terrible accidents right next to Grand Valley's campus. During the months of September and October, a couple Grand Valley students were hit by cars on 48th Avenue as they were walking on the side of the road. Luckily, these students survived and only sustained minor injuries. These accidents have started a conversation among the student body here at Grand Valley about the risk involved in walking next to the street and what measures can be taken to prevent future accidents. Here to provide more information on the accidents is senior correspondent Charles Decker, who is now live at the scene on 48th Avenue. Charles?
That's right, Jarrett. Right now I'm standing on the side of 48th Avenue right next to beautiful Country Place apartments.
Are you sure you're on the scene? That looks a little off.
No, man, I'm not actually on the scene. Are you kidding? That's way too dangerous for the amount I don't get paid.
I was going to say, that looks an awful lot like... Is that Frogger?
Jarrett, 48th Avenue and Frogger are practically the same thing at this point. 48th has become more dangerous than a group of freshmen passing around a fifth during Welcome Week.
Yes, but we've only had, what, like 4 accidents, right? 48th isn't really that bad of a street, is it?
It is if you don't have 4 wheels and tons of metal to protect you. Plus, this isn't a new problem. Students have been severely injured in the past walking these streets. In 2010, a guy was hit pretty bad here and he's just now recovering. That was 4 years ago.
Oh my, how's he doing now?
Well, he received injuries to his spinal cord, clavicle, brain, and pelvis. He's graduating this year though, so I guess you can say he's pretty lucky.
Oh, well, that's good for him.
You're right. Good for him. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and a trip to the ICU is one of the most empowering things that can happen to somebody.
Oh, okay, I get it. Well, if 48th isn't so bad, why don't students just take the bus? It runs till 3 a.m. on weekends.
Because that makes too much sense. Look at your demographic. You try telling horny college students that they need to end their parties at 3 a.m. We want people to be safe on the street. We don't care about exercising personal responsibility.
Wait, Charles. Yep, this just in. Apparently, plans are in place to build a brand new pedestrian path along 48th Avenue. According to Wood TV, the street will be turned into a boulevard with a center median.
You serious?
An environmental assessment is already underway to help with the proposal to implement these changes.
Uh-huh. Like we haven't heard that before. There have been talks to improve this road since 2004, and there's still nothing to show for it. Do you know when they said it will be finished?
If everything goes the way the officials hope, it will be built in 2016?
Perfect. Right after my graduation. Look, it's going to take someone or something to get killed on this road before anything gets done, which is why I have an idea.
I don't like that look you have on your face.
Jarrett, over 4,000 students live off campus around 48th Avenue. Let's say we get half of them to get a shovel and start digging tunnels underneath the road. If we start now, we can get a rough series of tunnels going that connect all of the major apartment complexes together with campus. That way, no one will need to ever walk outside at night ever again. We can just be like these guys. We can be the Grand Valley Meerkats, and our mascot can be Timon, or Greg, you know, because copyright.
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
True genius is so often misunderstood, young host.
Okay. In the meantime, how can students stay safe until measures are put into place?
The only way students can truly stay safe on this road is to go out and buy a car. I did that over the summer, and now that I've got one, I don't need to walk on this godforsaken street ever again. And as my good friend and homeboy Jay-Z once told me, if you don't have a car on campus, I feel bad for you, son, because I have 48 problems, but a bus ain't one.
Charles Deckard, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Grand Valley, to the Grand Ego. It's the last part of our show, so let's go on an ego trip. Alright, so let's go on with the first part of our ego trip. Seems it's a tweet from GV Confessions. I'm the biggest player you know. Had sex with 2 guys in 36 hours. Currently talking and hooking up with 5 different guys. Damn, girl, you a hoe. You a hoe. Next one is from Overheard at GVSU. Oh, it's an overseen, I see. Overseen. One of these things is not like the other. I mean, it it is a bike rack. Dang. Somebody really doesn't want to pay for parking. I mean, it is a bike. Next up is from Overheard at GVSU. Time to cash in on this sign biz. But seriously, do they not even check over the print? It's news, papayer. They spelled it wrong. It's called checking your grammar, Jesus. And last but not least, overheard at a girl at Fresh. We are not buddies. We actually cuddle, so we're friends with benefits. You still a hoe. That's all for tonight. My name is Jared Grismer, and this was The Grand Ego. Have a good night, and stay grand. I love that sound that he does.